The story of the Lachlan Arcade could not be told without looking into the life of its founder, Jewish businessman Daniel Berger. Daniel was a master merchandiser and advertiser who was well ahead of his time when it came to marketing his products. Newspaper articles of the day described him as a colourful personality with eyes like beads in an inkwell. Mr. Berger first made his mark as a trader in Burke, where he purchased a travelling paddle steamer, the Wandering Jew, which sold everything from a needle to an anchor. He built and opened his emporium, the Lachlan Arcade, in 1892, and it had a great impact on retail in Forbes. The building has been described by a heritage architect as being a good example of Victorian vernacular commercial buildings. There was a mezzanine level, similar to other grand buildings of this time, such as the Strand Arcade and Queen Victoria building in Sydney, but on a much lesser scale, of course. It has a large area of natural light coming from the ceiling. Other similar buildings exist in regional New South Wales, but Forbes is very fortunate to have a prime example here. These arcades also had double entrances to two streets, the front being for retail customers and the rear for bulk goods. In the case of the Lachlan Arcade, the rear entrance led to a large underground storage area, as well as the retail section. The tales of Mr. Berger are numerous, and a visit to our local museum or family history group will give you more information on this fascinating character. It is unfortunate that there are not many photographs of this grand old building in the early days. The main records we have are Daniel's fascinating advertisements in local papers. This is the only image we have of Daniel Berger, taken on his wedding day in 1886. Daniel Berger left the business in 1902 and it was purchased by Michael Lee in the mid-1900s. Michael was a rough and ready Irishman with a great sense of humour. He was also highly respected in the community and an alderman on the Forbes Council. Michael did not have the flair for advertising of his predecessor, but from newspaper reports of the day, he was very successful. After Michael Lee left the building in 1920, it became the location for various businesses. There was a lengthy period where auctions were held on the premises. This rare photo of the grand old building from 1927 advertises the auctions of J.T. Woods, who also used it for cultural purposes as well. A number of businesses occupied the arcade in following years, including a signwriter and furniture repairer, Mr. Patterson. He also utilised it as a practice space for the Forbes Town Band, because he was the bandmaster. Modern Motors sold Ford cars from the building in the 1940s, and it also later became a workshop for car body repairs. The firm of Forbes Builders Supplies was registered in 1939 and later moved into the Lachlan Arcade site. In all probability they were the longest tenant of the building, finally closing their doors in the late 1990s. Again, the arcade had a number of tenants until finally being transformed and probably saved in 2004 by the Whitfield family. They made extensive and sympathetic renovations and turned the old building into a superb coffee house and restaurant. This became the social hub of Forbes, Mezzanine. The building, now known as Silo, still remains as an excellent coffee house restaurant under the guidance of Catholic Care Wilcannia Forbes. It's well worth a visit. It is unfortunate that the building is in a flood area and as can be seen has been severely impacted by floodwaters over many decades. However, the Lachlan Arcade has a strong spirit for survival and is still the grand old lady of Rankin Street.